I got asked to leave the varsity team. So yes, I did play varsity basketball, but I got asked to leave.
And why did you get asked to leave?
Creative differences with the coach.
And what kind of creative differences?
He thought that I was probably a little bit better at football, and they were like, "We don't want to risk you getting hurt and taking your time, so we need to get you out to run track." And they were like, "We don't want to risk you getting hurt and taking, so we need to get you out to run track and play football." So they said, "Probably the best thing for you."
DC ain't even make JVT. I love it.
I 100% did, and I was asked to leave. And there's a lot of people out there that know why and that can stay. It's not something we need to dig up.
It was fighting was involved, if I'm not mistaken, correct? You beat somebody. Basically, you bullied somebody.
I was a lover, not a fighter, and I have the daughter to prove it. So.
Welcome to Big B Daily. No frauds allowed.
What is going on, everybody? What's happening? Welcome back to Big B Daily. This is your man, Big B. We are live. We appreciate everybody showing up today. We have got a good show for everybody today, man. We got a good show. So good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome everybody back. Remember, if you're in here, please continue to tap the screen on one certain platform. We need at least 5,000 likes and 30 new follows. So if you're not following, please remember to give us a follow. Got a lot to cover. Jared Goff and Antoine Winfield both get paid. They both get paid, man. Crazy numbers. We'll dig into that a little bit. Are they both worth it? Secondly, look, SGA just outshined Luka last night. That was not Luka's best performance. SGA took it to another level in a game that they had to have. And Luka choked down the stretch. Unbelievable, man. And he did. He absolutely choked down the stretch. Lastly, we're going to get into this NBA, NFL. Can people right now go play in the league? We're going to find all that out and more. We're going to dig into that. So, again, we appreciate everybody being here. Thank you, guys. Again, certain platform, continue to tap the screen. We need at least 5,000 likes and 30 new follows. So if you're not following, please do. Also, on that same platform, make sure you click in the live link and come on over so you don't get frozen up on. You don't have to worry about any of that. Just click the link in the bio. There's a live link. It'll bring you on over to another site, and you won't have to worry about any of that. So good there. Everybody else, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. If you like what we're doing, people, and you want to help, you want to contribute and support the show, you know how to do that. There's a plethora of different ways, whether you got super chats, gifts, or if you just want to like, follow, and subscribe. Remember, you can do all that. The links are in the bio. Let's get after this thing today. So Jared Goff gets $170 million. Actually, he gets $170 million guaranteed, 4 years. He's now the second highest paid player in the National Football League. I don't know, man. I just don't know. Look, I like Jared Goff. I think Jared Goff is a good quarterback. I thought it was crazy last year when people were talking about Jared Goff, the Lions trying to replace him. I'm like, I'm not sure what you're looking for. A quarterback that throws for 4,500 yards and over 30 touchdowns. What else are you wanting? And then he goes out and leads your team to the NFC Championship game. And if it's not for a couple of, let's just call it silly mistakes by the head coach, Dan Campbell, they may have been in the Super Bowl. So, and to say Jared Goff is average is just a silly, uninformed take. Maybe you don't like Jared Goff, but to say nobody throwing for that kind of yardage and those touchdowns is average. Is he the best player in the league? No. Is he the best quarterback in the league? No. But that's not average. So you don't have to like it, but that's not average. And saying that just means you're uninformed or you just don't like him. So either that, and it's always, well, it's the people around him. Well, Joe Montana had Jerry Rice. Was he average? No. So stop the nonsense. Stop the nonsense. Good quarterback. Is he worth those kinds of dollars? No, he's not. But is anybody? Doesn't everybody always overpay? You overpay for either free agents or you overpay to keep your guys. That's how it always works. My thing is that at some point, some of these owners got to try to fight back and just say, look, if this is the production we're getting from a quarterback, why do we have to pay $55 million a year? Like, if you have to, and look, here's Jared Goff. He's playing well. He's got a great line, a great running game, good receivers. But does he have to have all of that to function? Maybe the answer is yes. And if he does have to have all that to function, why do you then have to turn around and give him $55 million? I've said the same thing about Dak Prescott forever. Dak Prescott's a good quarterback. But for Dak to be at his best and to see the crazy output, he's got to have two good receivers, a great line, a great running game. Well, okay, but at what point when I pay you $55 million, do you just have to have a good receiver? You don't have to have the best in the league. You can have a good line. You don't have to have the best line or the best running game. At what point, if I'm giving you those kinds of dollars, why can't you elevate other people? At some point, owners are going to have to start saying that. You got to elevate. You got to elevate. So it is what it is. You know, it just at some point that has to start coming into the conversation. But good for Jared Goff. You know me, I'm never going to begrudge anybody for getting their money. Get all the money that you can. Absolutely good for him. And again, Jared Goff is a good quarterback. And if you go by the numbers last year, he was a top 10 quarterback, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Anybody that's saying that what he's done the last 2 years doesn't mean that he's a top 10 quarterback, either you don't like him or you don't know what you're looking at. Because he absolutely was. He absolutely was. You know, you can get by with 1 year. Okay, he was okay for a year, but then the rest of his career wasn't. But he was good. Jared Goff was good. So does that mean he's Patrick Mahomes? No, but you don't have to be Patrick Mahomes to be in the top 10. And he was that. The numbers say so. So I agree they're overpaid. Who really is evaluating guys to an elite level besides Patty, though? That's the whole thing. Nobody's elevating anybody to that. So Jared Goff is a good quarterback. He just is. I know people don't want to say that because there's a lot of uninformed people out there, but Jared Goff's a good quarterback. He just is. Good quarterback, got his money. So we'll see what happens this year. We'll see what happens this year. Because the Lions, again, got a good roster. They got a shot. They got a shot here. Let's take a look at what some people are saying over here on YouTube. Jared Goff is a good QB. It's just something missing. Give Goff a good running game, though, and he is deadly because of his play-action accuracy. Well, what's missing? You're saying something's missing. What's missing? I mean, the Lions have a good running game. He's good with his play-action pass. I mean, what's missing? He doesn't run around. Like, he doesn't make plays outside the pocket. Maybe that's what you're saying is missing. But there's a lot of guys like that. But, you know, that's the thing. He doesn't run around and make plays outside the pocket on the run. But other than that, he's a good quarterback. He just is. He just is. You know? Yeah, I'm just curious. What? At some point, we just need to say he's good. But he's not the best. And you don't have to be the best. Everybody can't be the best. So, my man Jason Parkinson, I remember after the trade, us Lions fans were saying Goff stood for get off Ford Field. He's not flashy at all, yet he's a great QB for the system. Yeah, for McDonald's system. Ben McDonald, absolutely. Bit overpaid, but I'm okay with it. A lot of people are overpaid. But I get what you're saying. I mean, I get what you're saying. Good point right here. by LTB Sports. NFL wrote Goff off, and he has fixed all of his issues, but he has no glaring gaps in his game at this time. That's right. He doesn't. He doesn't. Again, nobody's saying he's Patrick Mahomes, but he doesn't have to be Patrick Mahomes. He doesn't have to be Patrick Mahomes to be a good quarterback. That's the whole point. Does not have to be Patrick Mahomes to be considered a good quarterback. So that's the whole narrative with it. But I like Jared Goff. I would take Jared Goff on the Steelers right this very second. And I can tell you what, if Jared Goff was on the Steelers, people would be talking about the Steelers possibly going to the Super Bowl. Now, there's going to be a lot of hate in the room when I say something like that, but the Steelers got that kind of roster, and if they had a quarterback of his caliber, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. But we don't. But that don't matter. I told y'all yesterday, Steelers going to the Super Bowl. Deal with it. Deal with it, people. Deal with it. So, Antoine Winfield. Let's move on to that. Whew. Winfield, first of all, he got paid the most money in the history of any defensive back in NFL history. Not safety. This includes corners. Corners. Antoine Winfield Jr. I don't know, man. Now, don't get me wrong. He's very good. But 4 years, $84.1 million. That's a lot. That's a lot. You know, $45 million guaranteed at signing, just guaranteed. Is he worth it? Remember last year when the narrative that safeties weren't as valuable? Remember when that narrative was going on, when everybody, oh man, the safety position, they don't value it anymore. Yeah, well, Tampa says, damn that. Yeah, we value it. We value it a lot. Again, the highest paid contract of any defensive back in the history of the National Football League. Usually that goes to cornerbacks. Tampa said, nope, we got a guy that can do a lot. He can play safety. He can play slot corner. He's a disruptor. He can get after the quarterback when we need him to. This is the guy. This is the guy. So good for him. Again, got paid. Good for him. The thing about it is, after these guys get paid, then what are they going to end up doing after that? That's the big question. So that's the big question. Is are they going to continue down this path of dominance, or are they going to have a year of lax after they got the big paycheck and take their foot off the gas? I don't think Goff is going to take his foot off the gas. I don't even know if Winfield will. These seem like two high character guys. Not that other guys aren't high character that seem to do that, but we'll see. We will just see. So Winfield is great. Good for him. McDuffie's not getting paid next year. He got another year after that before he gets paid. He's a 4-year deal. There's no way they're giving him that kind of deal next year. So not next offseason. Well, maybe. Yeah, this is his 3rd year. So going into his 4th year, yeah, they might. Because he was a 2nd-round pick, not a 1st. So you're right. You're right. McDuffie might. I don't know if they're going to give him that. But we'll see. But I know McDuffie's agent is going to say, hey, look what Antoine Winfield Jr. got, and we are better than he is. So what are we doing? So I like it. But yeah, 2 guys, both got paid. Good for him, man. Good for him. Oh, my goodness. People are saying they're lifting that foot off the pedal just a little bit. They're going to lift the foot off the pedal. They had it all the way down, and Lord have mercy. I don't know. Let me look at something here. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, Goff. I like what Goff is doing. I like what Winfield. I like both of them. Maybe they'll take their foot off the gas. I don't see that. I think because I don't know if Tampa can get to the Super Bowl. Detroit can get to the Super Bowl. They can. I think, again, Dan Campbell got in the way last year in the NFC Championship game. If he doesn't make those crazy calls, who knows? Who knows? McDuffie was a first-round pick. Yes, he was. Not a second-round pick, like I said. He was a first-round pick. I think the Chiefs had 2. Maybe that's why I thought that I don't know. It doesn't matter. He was a first-round pick, not a second-round pick. And if he is, I don't know if the Chiefs are going to re-sign him next year because they got a 5th-year option. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Look at Steelers Almighty. Definitely would take Goff in Pittsburgh right now. Absolutely we would. And there's probably 25 teams that would take Jared Goff as their quarterback right now. 25. I mean, we could probably name them if we needed to, of the teams that would not take him, because it ain't that many. It ain't that many. And there are even some starters on some good teams, playoff teams right now, that would still take Jared Goff. So we got to stop the Goff slander. We got to stop it. So we got to stop it. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. My man doesn't think McDuffie is better. Yeah, I think McDuffie's a better coverage guy. McDuffie's a tackler, and he's a better coverage guy. I think he's better. But it's up for debate. But I like what Winfield. I like both of them. We'll see. But congratulations to both of those guys for getting paid. Congratulations for both of those guys for going out there and getting paid. Now let's move on here. And again, as a reminder, as one of you already got frozen up on, remember to click the live link in my bio. There's a live link in there. It will take you directly to a place where you will not get frozen up on. So remember to do that. So if you don't want the buffering, come on over. Just click in the bio, click on that live link, and come on over. But let's move on, people. Let's move on. Last night, SGA, he outshined Luka. And he did. He did. SGA, the Mavs did everything in their power to try to put the game away in the first half and couldn't do it. They had their opportunities, played well, but OKC just kind of hung around, and then they got back in the game. But Luka, first off, let me say this. Kyrie Irving has to get more shots. I don't know if Kyrie's hurt. I don't know if Kyrie is worn down. I don't know any of that. But the fact of the matter is Kyrie Irving has to get more shots. Okay? Because 4 for 11 is not enough for Kyrie Irving. 11 shots is not enough for Kyrie Irving. Nope. I'm sorry. Well, PJ Washington is getting more shots than you. Derek Jones Jr. is getting more shots than you. That can't happen. Kyrie's got to get more shots. Secondly, Luka, how are you going to go 6 for 20? What are we doing? No, that doesn't work. OKC, look, stars have to be stars. This was a game OKC had to have. And SGA just said, no, I'm going to go get it. I'm going to do it all in the mid-range, too. He only took 1 3-pointer last night. I'm going to do it all in the mid-range, and you're not going to be able to do it. Went 14 for 27, clutched down the stretch. He made his free throws where Luka missed. Luka had an opportunity to tie the game and missed. Unbelievable. You can't do that. Not enough people are talking about it either. And maybe they will today. Maybe they will talk about it, but you can't miss free throws. You're going to tie the game and you miss a free throw? Not if you're Luka Doncic. So that's all I know. That's all I know. SGA outshined him. My man Pat Cockrell, I know he's happy today. So glad to see OKC not roll over after getting punched in the mouth in the first half. Yeah, this game was do or die, and SGA and the boys came through. Absolutely. Like I said, they got punched in the first half. But like I said, they didn't get knocked out, and they just hung around. And that's all you got to do sometimes, and then let your star bring it home for you. And he did. And Luka did not. Yeah, well, Cam, Dallas missing free throws and Doncic's turnovers were terrible. Yeah. And look, he was 6 for 20. And I'm not going to say that, okay, you got to make every shot because you're going to have bad shooting nights. It happens. But do something else. And I know people will say, well, you had a triple-double. That's why triple-doubles can be misleading. 18 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists, triple-double, but you went 6 for 20. That 6 for 20 is awful. You miss a free throw late to be able to tie the game. What was it, with like 9 seconds to go? 10 seconds to go, he misses a free throw that would have tied the game? Yeah. Sometimes things are misleading. Misleading, man. He didn't play a good game. He played a bad game. So we'll see what happens moving on to game 5. That might have just been the breath of fresh air that OKC needs. You know how I've been talking, and a lot of people have been talking about OKC super young. How are they going to handle adversity? They got down 2-1 on the road. Well, you go on the road after being smacked around in the first half and you win game 4 to tie the series. Maybe they've grown up quickly. Maybe sometimes when your star isn't super emotional and doesn't get rattled, maybe that's what the other guys need to understand. Hey, man, we're not getting rattled. We're out here. We're just doing our thing. And they're playing with a calmness to them. When your superstar plays with a calmness to them, maybe that overcomes inexperience. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that overcomes inexperience. We've never really seen the NBA before, but I think we saw it last night. Somebody mentioned over here on TikTok, yes, they grew up a little. Yeah, I believe so. I just think that it's SGA is just the silent superstar. He gets to his spots. He can't be rushed. He does everything that you want your superstar to do. And when the chips were down and they said, take us home in the fourth quarter, he absolutely got OKC home. That's what you want out of your superstar. Making tough shots, getting to all of his spots, setting up teammates. He did it last night. Luka did not. I'm not saying Luka has never done it. We know how good Luka is. But last night, when they needed him, he wasn't there. And neither was Kyrie. Look, we can say what we want. Kyrie can't be taking a backseat to PJ Washington or Tim Hardaway Jr. Nope. You can't do that. At some point, you've got to take the shots. 15 to 18 shots is a minimum for Kyrie in a playoff series. He got to start taking more shots. Unless he's hurt, which I don't think he was hurt because what did he play, like 40-something minutes? Yeah, he played 41 minutes, so he ain't hurt. Got to take more shots. Got to be more aggressive. Got to be more assertive. And Luka's got to go to him and tell him, hey, Kyrie, I don't have it going tonight, man. I need you to take over. But it also might be a case of OKC is D'ing him up. So it may be that too. Maybe they're making him work for everything that he gets. But yeah, Luka has 7 turnovers last night. You can't have that, man. You can't have that. So it was, they had an opportunity to knock him out in the first half. They did not do it. They let him get back in the game. SGA is just that guy. So SGA is that guy. And somebody's pointed out, yes, just like I did, when your superstar is calm and collected and doesn't get rattled, you have an opportunity to win. You do. You know, that's literally the opposite of Luka. SGA is Luka is so emotional with every play. With every play. He was fouled every time down the court. You know, with every play. And when he doesn't have it going like he didn't have last night, the thing that bothered me the most about Luka was, y'all remember near the end of the game in the fourth quarter, there was kind of a scramble for a ball, a loose ball, and they hit Holmgren in the corner for a three, and Luka was grabbing his knee. I said, hold on a minute, man. You can't be grabbing your knee when your team's in the scramble drill and a guy's going to get a wide open three. I don't want to hear you grabbing your knee. You can't do that. You can't do that. Because if you're grabbing your knee, that means your knee must be hurt. That means you got to come out of the game. But nope, you grabbed your knee, and then 3 seconds later, when it was time to inbound the ball, you were just fine. That's weak. That's weak, people. That's weak. And there's a lot of Luka fans out there. I'm one of them. Can't do that. Can't do that. Don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. That is Bush League, to be honest with you. It's Bush League. Your team's in the scramble drill. The score was tied at the time. And all of a sudden, you're going to grab your knee because you don't want to run out and contest a three-pointer? Yeah. I have no place for it. And again, don't tell me you're hurt. I believe that he is hurt, but he played 42 minutes. Run your ass out there and go contest. I know today that the Dallas radio stations are going to kiss Luka's butt and they won't say anything about it, but we can say about it here on Big B Daily. We can talk about it. We can talk about it. Don't be making those weak plays, man. Don't be doing that. And if anybody didn't see it, if you get an opportunity to go back wherever, YouTube, whatever your case may be, go back and find it. It was 86-86. And then all of a sudden, Luka grabs his knee. Holmgren gets a wide open three. Come on, man. Stop it. Stop it. Nobody wants to hear that. Stop it. So, but either way, SGA brought him home. He brought him home. Luka did not have a good game. In a game, I think, and here's what I'll say. If Dallas wins that game, I think they end the series in 5. I think they go back to OKC because I do think that the inexperience would kick in and the guys, they wouldn't just roll over, but they would just lose that game 5 at home. The game would be close, it would get tight, and they would lose it. But you go on the road and you win a must-win game. This is a series now. You got home court. Wouldn't surprise me if the Thunder win this thing in 6. I'm still predicting Dallas in 6, but it would not surprise me if the Thunder win this thing in 6. Would not surprise me at all. Would not surprise me at all. So, all right. So let's move on. Again, everybody, if you're not already, remember to continue to tap your screen on certain platform. If you're not following, make sure you do. And click on the live link. Come on over so you don't get frozen up on. Click on the live link. It's the links in the bio. Very, very simple. And come on over. We appreciate you. And again, Monday through Friday, Big B Daily, 9 a.m. Central Time. We appreciate everybody being here. Again, if you like what we're doing and you want to help support the show, there's several different ways that you can do it. And you guys know all of them. Make sure you click in the bio and choose one that's right for you. So let's move on to our final topic of the day. Is the old NBA NFL crossover controversy. I thought this thing was dead. I thought it was dead, which is why I didn't talk about it on Monday, and I didn't talk about it on Friday last week. I thought this thing was dead. Well, apparently it's still got legs, and they're still going back and forth. In case people don't know, Austin Rivers son of Doc Rivers, played in the NBA, I think 11 years, had an okay career. I mean, he wasn't a star, but you play in the NBA for 11 years, you're not a scrub, okay? You can say what you want. Like people like Kwame Brown. Kwame Brown gets labeled as a first-round bust, and he is, but that doesn't make him a scrub because I think he played 12 years in the NBA. So Austin Rivers, 11 years in the NBA, comes out and he's been doing the social media thing and he's been talking fast and comes out with something extremely reckless and disrespectful and says 30 guys right now from the NBA could go play in the NFL. 30 guys right now. And NFL players have lost their mind going at him. They are clapping back at him left and right. And let's break it down. So first of all, there ain't 30 guys that could go play in the NFL from the NBA. Okay, that's just hyperbole. And he started to back off of that, although I'm not backing off of anything that I say. Now he's starting to say, yeah, there's several guys that could go play in the NFL. Okay, number one, we'll start it with 22 positions on the field. Okay, none of them can play quarterback, so that gets eliminated right off the bat. And none of them can play offense or defensive line. Nobody in the NBA is doing that. Nobody. Okay? And none of them are playing linebacker either. Okay? So let's eliminate those positions right off the bat. No offensive linemen, no defensive linemen, no linebackers, and no quarterback. Okay? So now you go to tight end. Who do you think in the NBA, and again, I'm not saying, give him a training camp, give him a year to train. No, that's not what he said. He said that he could take them right now and put them in an NFL camp and they could go play and make an NFL team, go play in the NFL. So their body type, their muscle mass, the way that their body is built, they could go do it. So who's going to go play tight end? That's what I want to know. What guy is going to go play tight end and block defensive ends? Now, I know what you're saying. Well, Travis Kelce is a terrible blocker, and he is. But at least he's got to get out there and do it. Who's doing that? Like, what guy is out there doing that and is going out there and catching passes? Who's doing that? Everybody says LeBron is 39 years old. He ain't doing that, man. We're talking about right now, right this very second. LeBron is 39. He's not doing that. So who are we talking about? Nobody. Nobody. We got to stop this madness. Then he disrespected NFL players even further when he said, well, all they do is go catch a pass. All you got to do is run straight and catch a pass and turn around or run north and south. Really? That's what wide receivers do? The last time I checked, wide receivers, there was this thing called the route tree, and they ran it. They ran the route tree. I just don't understand that, And so now these guys are just going to come out there and run the route tree. Not to mention, you can talk about, these quick guys. Let's just say a real quick guy like Tyrese Maxey. Somebody like that. Real fast with the basketball. Super fast. He's getting off press coverage. That's what Tyrese Maxey's going to do? He's going to get off press coverage? No. No. Good point brought up right here. NBA players get a broken finger and is out for months. NBA players are playing the next day. Hell, sideshow, NFL player gets a broken finger. They come off the field and get it taped up. They get right back in the game. Now, they might have to have surgery after the game, but they literally, oh, man, my finger is coming through my skin. Hey, man, tape this up, put a little pad on it. I'm going to continue to play. And then after the game, okay, I'm going to get surgery to get it fixed. I'll get a pin in there. And they might be out a couple weeks. Or what do? They put that big-ass cast on their hand, and then they just play with one hand free. Stop it. Stop it. Jiminy Christmas. Not to mention, one of the greatest receivers in the history of the National Football League didn't go across the middle to catch passes. That would be Randy Moss. No NBA player ever, not just right now, ever, is ever going to be as good as what Randy Moss was. And Randy Moss did not go over the middle to catch passes. So now these guys that don't know how to get hit, don't know how to get tackled, all of a sudden, those guys are going to run across the middle and catch a pass. And look, they don't even take your head off anymore. They can't do that because they're going to get fined. They don't even take your head off. And now, all of a sudden, they're going to run across the middle and get their ribs, a pass that's a little high, and then they're going to get their rib. They're going to get hit in the ribs, and they're going to do that? Stop the nonsense. Stop the nonsense. That's all I'm saying. That's not happening at any level. At any level, that's not happening. Guys are, well, who's going to go out there? Some guy going to go, Anthony Edwards played football. Yeah, he played football when he was 16 years old. Well, he's only 22 now, really. So he stopped playing when he was 16 years old. All of a sudden, he can just go out on an NFL field and compete with the best football players alive and play safety, play running back. Shut up. No. Now, I will say this. It's vice versa. There ain't no NBA or NFL guys going out and going getting you buckets playing basketball either. Like that nonsense that Micah Parsons was talking about. I can average 20 points a game in the NBA. Shut up. You couldn't make a roster. There ain't a guy that could go make a roster in the NFL. Again, body types are too different. NBA athletes are some of the greatest athletes in the world. Let's get to some of these comments. Let's see what some of you guys are saying, man. See what some of you guys are saying. So, what are we talking about? My man, David Gonzalez. All that NBA players have to do is run up the court and throw a ball into a hoop. Oh, really? There's more to it than that. Yeah, there's more to it than that. That's what I'm saying. That's what NFL guys say. All they got to do is shoot. First of all, shooting a basketball is a skill. That's shooting a skill. Now, is shooting a basketball more of a skill than catching a pass or blocking somebody? I think it probably is more of a skill, but that doesn't make it harder. What's harder, to shoot a basketball on a hoop or move a man against his will that's just as big as you or could be bigger than you or is more athletic than you? You tell me what's harder. I mean, I'm just throwing that out there. And I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. What's harder? Man, you can't make this stuff up. I've seen few guys try and come out, and they literally didn't last a day. Exactly. The physicality of football, and I'm not even trying to say that NBA guys are soft. That's not my point. But what I am saying is it's a different mentality. Football is a different mentality. You're ready for the rigors. Nobody's saying that the NBA doesn't have contact, but contact is not a collision. And the kind of contact that goes on in the NBA is that on every single play, there's physicality in football. You're trying to move somebody against their will, tackle somebody, hit somebody as hard as you possibly can. That isn't what basketball is. That is not what basketball is. You're trying to run around people, manipulate them, run through screens, have somebody screen somebody. There's no screens outside of every now a pick play on the perimeter. So, yeah, I don't know. NFL players have to literally move them out of the way. NBA players cry if they get touched. I think a lot of the NBA players crying is because of some of the mentality. I think we've adopted a lot of the, I don't know. The flopping has gotten out of control. And it's done by everybody. LeBron, Luka. Hell, one of the biggest crybabies that nobody ever talks about is Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan was one of the biggest whiners in the history of the NBA. But because he was quiet, people didn't talk about it. So, I don't know. I don't want to go out and say that NBA guys are soft because that's not the intent. All I'm saying is it's a different mentality, man. There's a different mentality. So, and here's the point right here. My man, David Gonzalez. You can just wipe out all defensive positions out of contention because absolutely no one in the NBA can tackle like that. Exactly. Exactly. There is nobody in the NBA. I don't care. Oh, well, they could play cornerback. You got to tackle. You're telling me that as a defensive back, Anthony Edwards, who right now is being considered one of the most athletic and physically gifted guys in the NBA, he's a corner, and he's tackling Saquon Barkley coming off the edge? If Saquon just says, you know what, I'm not going to try to juke this guy. I'm just going to run through him. He's okay with that?
Honey,
He's okay with Derrick Henry coming at him on a cutback? You know, Derrick Henry running outside zone, gets a cutback, and it's you and him. He's going to make that tackle? Stop it. Stop it. And again, it's vice versa. It's vice versa. There's nobody that's going out there on NBA or NFL guys that are going out there and scoring and doing the things that you need to do to play in an NBA basketball game. Because again, NBA is full of skill. You got to be able to dribble. You got to be able to pass. You got to be able to shoot. You got to be able to defend. And I know some people will think, well, Myles Garrett's 6'5". He's 6'5". Super athletic, looks like an absolute freak on a football field, but he's 6'5". And you could even say, okay, he's 285, 6'5", 285. How long is he going to be able to get up and down? For instance, do you think, you know who else is 6'5"? Zion. You think Myles Garrett has any chance in hell of stopping a healthy Zion Williamson? Hell no. Absolutely not. Absolute. And both of them are 6'5", 285. And there ain't no damn way that Myles Garrett is stopping what Zion Williamson has to bring to the table. So it goes vice versa. It goes vice versa. You know, guys just can't. I mean, basketball, like I said, basketball is full of guys that are super skilled. You got, especially in today's basketball. You know, if we were talking 25 years ago when the NBA had a bunch of goons out there, and I think that's what people go back to, people my age. They look at Anthony Mason, Charles Oakley, Rick Mahorn, guys out there like that. They didn't have skill. They're just out there playing physical basketball. Well, yeah, if you're doing that, then yeah, guys could go and do that. But that's not how basketball is played anymore. That's not how it's played. So no. And you could go back and say it's even worse for NBA players 25 years ago compared to today when it comes to football. Because 25 years ago, they would let you clothesline people. They would let you headhunt people. Who's going out there and doing that? No NBA player. So we got to stop the nonsense, people. Like I said, I love the NBA. I think they're some of the greatest athletes in the world with some of the greatest skills in the world. But they are not, let me repeat this, they are not going to go and play in an NFL game. And look, I played a long time ago, but I think that I can talk about it a little bit because I got a Division I scholarship to go do both. And this is the reason that I can speak on it. I got a Division I scholarship to go to Xavier. And when I got there, I knew immediately, I'm not playing. This is not for me. My body type is not, it's not for me. I'm not a basketball player any longer. That was high school. And that was high school. And again, I was one of the best players in the country in high school. And I got to college and I immediately knew, no, no, this is over. This is over. I couldn't play. And I had the skill. I could dribble. I could shoot. I knew basketball. But I did not have the athleticism and was not going to be able to. Now you could say, well, Brian, somebody could have athleticism, could have played. I was 240 pounds. I couldn't play. It was over. It was over. But you know what I could do? I could play football. And I went and did that successfully at one of the better colleges or better universities in the country. So I can speak on it. You can't do that. Nobody's out there doing it at a high level. And when I got to K-State, I could still hoop a little bit, but there ain't no way in the world that I could have went out there and played on Kansas State's basketball team. Oh, and by the way, when I was at Kansas State, the basketball team sucked. They were terrible. They were beyond terrible. Now, don't get me wrong. I gave them the business a little bit in intramurals or a little open gym. You know, I gave them the business a little bit, you know, a couple times down the court. I could do that. But I wasn't going out there and playing in no games, you know. I'm just saying, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. So usually I keep what I did and all that stuff because it was 30-something years ago, so it's not relevant. Well, I think sometimes it can be relevant, and this is one of those times. This is relevant. I can actually speak to this. No NBA guy is going to play in the NFL, and no NFL guy is going to play in the NBA. Just not happening. The closest thing we saw to it was Charlie Ward. Charlie Ward played, and he was a decent backup quarterback, or not backup quarterback, backup point guard in the NBA. Now, he played again. He played for a lot of years. I think he played 12 years. And again, you play 12 years, I don't care. But he played, and he also won the Heisman. But he didn't get the opportunities. First of all, that was back in the day. I think Charlie Ward would have been a first. If he would have said, I'm going to play football, he may not have been a first-round pick, but I think Charlie Ward would have been a great NFL quarterback had he chosen to do that. But I think what Charlie Ward is thinking, you know what? They don't want to give me this opportunity in football. I'm going to be a first-round pick in basketball. I can play a lot longer and make a lot more money. Smart. And I don't even have to be a superstar. I'm going to play longer, and I'm going to make more money. And I think he made the right decision. Good for him. So, good for him. And here's the thing. Now, my man Austin, what's going on, man? I would say tight ends have the closest. Antonio Gates. And they do. And they do. But, think of it. Antonio Gates wasn't going to play in no NBA. There wasn't a chance in hell he was playing in the NBA. And Jimmy Graham either. He played 1 year at Miami. I mean, those guys weren't playing in no NBA. Tony Gonzalez, you could say him too. But people bring up Tony Gonzalez like Tony Gonzalez was God's gift to basketball. To me and Tony Gonzalez are the same age. We went to ABCD basketball camp together. He was a great athlete. He was not a basketball player. Yes, he went to Cal. Yes, he played well at Cal. But was he some great All-American? No. Tony Gonzalez was a football player. Because the thing that I can 100% tell you, if anybody had the opportunity to go play football and basketball, they would do it. That's all I'm telling you. Tony Gonzalez was a football player, and a football player first. And a Hall of Fame football player at that. But he wasn't the greatest basketball player in the world. Another example, Julius Peppers, played in college, had no shot to play in the NBA. No shot. You know, no chance to play in the NBA. What was he going to do? Again, another 6'5" guy. What was he going to do? A 6'5" power forward. What was he going to do? You think Julius Peppers had a chance to play like Charles Barkley? Go against a guy like Sean Kemp? Come on, man. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Going against Rasheed Wallace? No. No. So, And no tight ends are doing it. So you got to stop. There ain't no tight ends that play in the National Football League right now that are going to play in the NBA. Not one. Not one. Stop it. Sheesh. It's okay, man. It's okay. So nobody's doing it. That's my only point on neither side. But yeah, Austin Rivers just being reckless. He must be coming out with some kind of podcast or something to try to get his name out there and be relevant. I get it, but it's just not happening. It's just not happening. Like I said, I personally can speak to it. I can speak to it myself, and it's not possible. It's not possible. You have to be you think about the kind of athlete that Julius Peppers and Tony Gonzalez were for them to be able to do double duty in college. Think about the kind of crazy, both the guys, Hall of Fame NFL players. Neither one of them could sniff an NBA roster. Couldn't do it. Now, they played a long time ago, so the goon role was still around somewhat. So maybe they could go be a goon back then. But if those guys were playing football today, there's no chance they can make an NFL or an NBA roster. And I don't even want to get into NBA guys. We've already discussed that. No NBA guys are playing in the NFL. None. I know Kendrick Perkins brought up the BS. Oh, Russell Westbrook could play running back. Really? Really? Running as high as he does and herky-jerky? He's going to get destroyed. Running high, his chest cavity is going to get caved in. Running all high. Give me a break. Just stop the nonsense. Just stop the nonsense, people. So, let's move on. Let's move on. Let's get to the Q&A section, man. Let's get to that. Bring on the questions. Bring on the statements. Anything you got before we end the show today. What do y'all got? We can talk about anything. Bring it up. We can talk about how the Steelers are going to make the Super Bowl. I'd love to talk about that. How the Steelers are going to make the Super Bowl. Hey, man, the schedule is about to come out tomorrow. I'm hype. First of all, though, I'm yelling about the Steelers making the Super Bowl. The Steelers have the second or the third toughest schedule in the NFL. Lord have mercy. Here I go, wanting to be hype, wanting to be excited about the season, and we turn around and we got the third toughest schedule. It's Ravens number 1, Browns are second, Steelers are third. Oh, my goodness. What are we doing? Oh, what do we think about the Commanders and Jaden Daniels? I think the Commanders will be better. They can't be a whole lot worse. I think they'll be a little bit better. Their quarterback play, I don't think it was all Sam Howell's fault. I don't think he's that good. I don't think it was all his fault. But I think they'll be better. A little bit better coaching. You know, somebody who gives a damn. Ron Rivera didn't care at the end. He didn't care. And it showed. But he didn't care at the end. So I don't think Ron Rivera cared the whole season, to be honest with you. I don't think he cared the whole season. Let me look at something real quick. Yeah. I don't think he cared at all. The entire, and you knew it right from training camp when he basically took the side of his players because Eric Bieniemy was being too tough. Oh, coach, get Eric Bieniemy, get EB. He's being too mean to us. And then Rivera came out in the public and said, yeah, he's got to learn to temper his mentality. I'm like, really? You're taking the side of the players 2 days into training camp? Lord have mercy. Just terrible. Just terrible. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I've been watching football my whole life. I've never heard an assistant or a head coach take the side of his players because an assistant was being too tough. I've never heard that before. Until last year. So, there's always a sleeper team in the NFL. Who's the team this year? Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers. No. Sleeper team in the NFL. I'll need to see the schedules. But if I'm just off the top of my head, somebody that could make a run that we don't necessarily believe, I think it's either going to be Seattle or the Bears. I think Seattle or the Bears have an opportunity to be better than what we think. Those are the two teams that come to mind. Like, you go through the divisions, I just don't see anybody that we're not talking about other than those two. Because I think the Bears are going to be better than what people think. I think people are just shit canning Caleb Williams. I don't think you need to do that. I think that's a mistake. I think he's going to be better than what I think people think he's going to be good, but they don't like his personality. So because they don't like his personality, now all of a sudden they're taking it personal, and now they're saying that he's not going to be any good. I think that's what a lot is going on there. I think a lot of that is going on there. So, David Gonzalez, have you been following the track and field world championships? The U.S. is teed up for a huge Olympics this summer. I have not, David, but I can 100% guarantee you this. Big B Daily Show will be all over the Olympics this year. I love the Olympics. Now, look, I'm a casual fan. I'm a casual track and field fan. So I'm not the guy that, like I said, I haven't been keeping up with it. But I will watch, and we will have it. We will talk about the Olympics every single day. I can assure you of that. I love the Olympics. I love it all. Give me more water polo. Give me the walk race. Give me all of it. I love it. First of all, walk racing, by the way, in case you didn't know, is a little harder than what you think. I tried to do that one day because I'm out trying to get my exercise, trying to do a little walking. I tried to do some walk racing. Lord have mercy, my hips almost blew out of socket. And I was dead tired after about 25 yards. I said, oh my goodness, this is too much. It's too much. You know, man, I give credit to those race walkers. They got something going on, man. I was out there. I was getting it. And then I got about 15 yards, and I was like, hold on a second. Is that something loose in my hip? And I went another 10 yards, and I stopped. I didn't slow down. I stopped. And I said, okay, Brian, you got to take a breath, number one. And you got to get your hips back together because this ain't working. I was like, Lord, have mercy. I have lost. That's when you know you've lost it, people. When you go race walking by yourself, you're not even racing nobody, and you feel like your hips are going to blow out, you know you've lost it. You know you've lost it. So, barring injury, does Rush finish the season as quarterback? Yeah. Well, let me say this. If he's playing well. If he's playing well, absolutely. Absolutely. So, just as a reminder, Steelers Almighty, we will be doing a live show tomorrow on YouTube. So please come check it out. If you are subscribed to Steelers Almighty, wherever you're subscribed at or following at, make sure that you join the live tomorrow on YouTube. We will be doing a live show 8 p.m. Eastern time, 7 Central. For the schedule reveal, we will be doing our normal podcast. We'll be doing it live tomorrow. So make sure everybody tunes in and shows up. Having a fun show. It'll be interactive. We'll have a good, fun show. What else do we got? David Gonzalez. What happened in the world that playing the Browns makes your schedule tough? Man, look. As much as I like to make fun of the Browns are pretty good, man. They are. The Browns are good. So I'm not going to be that guy. The Browns are going to be good. They're going to be good. And they finished second last year in the division, so they got a tough schedule too. Lord have mercy. So, again, 4 teams in the AFC North. 3 of them have the top 3 toughest schedules in the league. Ravens, Browns, Steelers, and I think Cincinnati is like 16. It's nuts. Bears get 8 or so wins, says my man Brevin. I think so too. I think 8 wins is the floor, and maybe 7. But I think anywhere between 7 and 10 wins, the Bears can get that. Yeah, I think so. I think so. You know what? I think I'm going to go with you, Brevin. I think I'm going to go with 8. I think I'm going to go with 8. Friday, I suspect we'll probably break down. We'll start doing them by divisions because there's a lot to cover in one show. We'll start breaking down divisions and what their schedules look like for each team. And we'll start breaking them down a little bit, seeing what's what, you know. And although, because the NFL is a long way away, or maybe we'll keep that for Monday. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. So, plus you guys can tell me what you guys want to do. You guys want to start breaking down schedules on Friday, or you want to wait till Monday? I'll ask you. You know, I put the shows together for you guys, so you tell me what you want to do. My man Ruben, we were discussing with friends, do run plays fatigue the offensive line more than the pass plays? Thoughts? Yeah, they do. They do. Because, again, you're trying to move a man against his will, where being an offensive lineman pass plays, you're trying to stay in front of somebody and you're trying to push them and keep them away, but you're not trying to move them anywhere. You know, as a pass protector, I'm not trying to move you out of a spot so somebody can run behind me. You're not trying to do that. So, you know, I'm not saying it's easier, because if we're talking about easier, it's easier to run block. Much easier to run block. Because, again, while you're trying to move somebody out of position, sometimes you have a double team, so that makes it easier. But again, you're just blocking somebody trying to move them out of the way. Pass protection, at all times, the defensive lineman is more athletic than you. At all times. So they're going to juke you and move. Their feet are quicker than yours. Now, when I played in college, again, I played basketball. So I happened to have pretty good feet for an offensive lineman. But just talking in general terms, it's easier to run block than pass block. For me, that was definitely the case. But as far as getting fatigued, that's a great question, Ruben. Yeah, you get more tired run blocking just because you're trying to move a man against his will that doesn't want to move. So that's all. Hey, this is a good question. Big B, what's worse, going to Walmart on Saturday at 11 a.m. or race walking? Walmart, 100%. Walmart. I wouldn't care if I had no hips in my socket trying to race walk. There is nothing like going to a grocery store at Walmart, Kroger. I know a lot of people that aren't from Texas aren't going to know about HEB. Any grocery store anywhere, Winn-Dixie, anywhere at 11 a.m. on a Saturday is worse. And it isn't worse for what you think. It's only worse because of who you have to deal with. I have been bullied at the grocery store here in the last couple months. My wife I think she was working one day, and I said, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'll go get the groceries. I'll go pick it up. It was a list of about 10 things, something simple. I walk in there. First of all, it was a madhouse. I had to park a half mile away. But hey, I'm trying to get in shape. Didn't feel bad about it. Walked in, felt good. Got my cart, immediately bullied. Those women in there, first of all, they know what they're doing. That is their stomping ground. Don't mess around in there, people. Don't you do it. I got bullied, pushed around, told I didn't know what I was doing. Why are you going this way? You can tell your wife doesn't send you shopping more often. Lord have mercy. Vicious. Just vicious. Oh, I got better. I'll admit, I got better. But my God. Whew. The next time I went in with confidence. And I think that's part of it, fellas. You got to go with confidence. I didn't go the first time. I was hoping some people would help me. Didn't do that at all. Banging my carts around like I'm in bumper cars. Lord have mercy. Should be ashamed of yourself, ladies. Help us men out. You know we haven't been there that often by ourselves. Because I'll go to the grocery with my wife. I'll go every single time. And it's just fine. Going by myself, it's like you're dangling raw meat in front of a lion that hadn't eaten in a year. Gee, many Christmas. Good question here. Arizona Cardinals would be my sleeper if Kyler is all good. Nah, I don't think so. Their roster is still bad. Their roster is still bad. So even if Kyler is okay, I think their roster is still bad. I think they'll be better than what they were last year just because Kyler will be there the whole year. But I don't think Arizona, I think their roster is still bad. I don't think they got enough. And I know Marvin Harrison Jr. is better, is going to upgrade their receiving core, but they still got rid of some guys. But, yeah, I think their roster is still bad. They have no shot. At least it appears on the outside looking in. I could be totally wrong about Arizona, though. Could be totally wrong. Let's see. Now, this is a good question, Brevin, or a good statement. You think the offenses are going to pop off even more this year for the simple fact of the tackling rule? I don't think so. I mean, a lot of it was being made of the hip drop tackle, but you go back 5 years, that wasn't even a thing. I mean, people weren't doing that. So, but we'll see. Maybe you could be right. But I don't even think it was a thing 5 years ago. I think teams caught up. The defenses caught up to the offensive last year. And we're going to see a lot more pass interference calls, because scoring has been down. The NFL doesn't want that. So I think there's going to be a lot more defensive penalties, even more than there have already been, which is going to suck. But it is what it is. So we'll see. We will see. Saints and Eagles win their division. Or first of all, the Eagles will probably win their division. The Saints will be lucky to win 5 games. I just don't want to hear this Saint. Any team with Derek Carr as their quarterback is a liability. Let's just start there. Okay? I don't want to see this. The Saints are terrible. And Derek Carr is their – first of all, they should have fired their coach, and they didn't. That would be number one. Number 2, you have Derek Carr as your quarterback. That's all I need to say about the Saints. I'll let it go. I don't want to drive a nail in. I don't want to do that. So, Let's see. David Gonzalez says that run blocking lasts about 2 seconds 15 times per game. When there's a run, I would say that run blocking lasts longer than 2 seconds. Pass blocking is up to 8 seconds. There is no chance and no time at ever are you pass blocking for 8 seconds. You're not doing that. And again, all you're doing is standing. I shouldn't say all you're doing, but you are keeping a guy from getting around you. You're not trying to move that guy. That's easier. Just take it from somebody who did it. It's easier. Or you don't get as tired doing that. It's easier. For me, it was easier. I would rather pass block all day long. Now, if we're talking about winning a game, I want to run block because I want to wear a defensive lineman down. I want to wear them down. But as far as getting tired, you get more tired trying to push a 330-pound guy versus having that 330-pound guy trying to get around you. Because the last thing that a defensive lineman wants to do is be in pass protection and them trying to pass rush is be playing tug of war with you. I want them to do that. Please do that. That'll be great. So, is there a Michael Penix package in Atlanta? For Atlanta Falcons fans, they better hope not. Michael Penix ain't no runner. So they better hope there ain't no package for him. Because if he comes in, and Falcons fans are still upset. They're still upset. And I get it. So, sleepers to watch. Commanders, Arizona, Tennessee, and the Pats. I don't know why people keep saying the Pats, they have the worst roster in the NFL. I believe in Tennessee, though. That's a team that I didn't bring up. I believe in Tennessee. Absolutely, I believe in Tennessee. Arizona, I'm still not on it because I don't think their roster's that good. The Commanders' defense still has a shot. And if they get some okay quarterback play, they can be better than what people think. I don't think they're a playoff contender, but I think they can be better than what people think. So we'll see. We will definitely see. So, all right, man. I appreciate it. Thank everybody for showing up again, as always. Big B Daily Show, 9 a.m. Central Time. I appreciate everybody being here, man. Thank you guys for showing up. Again, if you like what we're doing and you want to help support the show, you know how to do it. There's a plethora of ways that you can do it. Just click the link in the bio and choose the one that is best for you. We appreciate it. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Aloha.